So we all know what these are. These are dinosaurs, of course. For centuries, scientists called paleontologists have dug up and reconstructed these dinosaurs and other prehistoric organisms from their fossils. But what else can fossils teach us? Well, fossils can tell us a surprising amount about behavior through the field of study called behavioral paleontology. This may seem difficult to do at first, as the fossils just sit there. They don't move around like they used to, but there is still a lot of evidence that can be used to show behavior. One piece of evidence that can be used are trace fossils. Think things like footprints or drag marks. These fossils don't actually have pieces of the original organism, but instead show traces of its existence and movement. One great example of this is the Paleontology footprints. These footprints of Australopithecus afarensis, an early human ancestor, show that their gait was similar to that of a modern human, even using the same heel strike method of walking. So just from these footprints, we are able to see how these animals moved around and show an evolutionary timeline between them and modern humans. As well, sometimes regular fossils can be preserved in a way that reveals regular behavior. An example of that was found in Mongolia in 1971 called the fighting dinosaurs, which shows a velociraptor and a protoceratops locked in combat. This shows strong evidence for some form of predator-prey relationship, which helps to reconstruct their behavior. One of the most interesting ways to show prehistoric behavior is through biomechanical modeling, combining paleontology with technology. Biomechanical modeling is using modern technology to make a digital model of the bones, muscles, tissue, really whatever, and test it digitally. That way, paleontologists can get data without having to break or damage actual bone. One study by Eric Snivel and Andrew Cox used this method to look at pachycephalosaur heads, the ones with the big dome heads, and looked at whether they could survive head-on collisions with each other, like is often depicted in pop culture. They made a model of the heads of a couple of pachycephalosaurs, mainly Pachycephalosaurus, and tested how much force they could survive and at what speeds. They proved that at low speeds, the dome could protect their brains, so it is very possible they headbutted like modern-day big-horned sheep. With all these methods and more, there is a lot to be learned from fossils to show behavior. However, it's not a perfect science, as the results are often not conclusive and can be interpreted in different ways. However, it still helps to show us more about the past and how these animals behaved. Overall, behavioral paleontology is something very useful to be studied to understand not just the past, but also how the past leads into the present and even the future.